Hi and welcome to Vizu TV. This week we're going to be looking at pickup trucks, and in particular this lovely Ford Ranger pickup. So it really does seem the case these days that everybody has a pickup truck. A few years ago the second car in the family was always something smaller and probably better on fuel. These days everyone wants a big commercial vehicle. Well, why so? Well, they're incredibly useful, of course. Most pickup trucks these days come with 4 seats, not the old-fashioned 2-seat version, so you can throw the kids in the back, the mountain bikes, and there's plenty of room for the tents too. Well, in fact, we're only really catching up now with what the Americans and the Australians have known for years. You'll notice we've already done some styling modifications for this particular vehicle. You'll notice this lovely Ford grille that lights up at night, these Mustang headlamps that look quite a little bit different, nice wide arch wheel kit here that makes the vehicle look nice and chunky and off-roady, big 20-inch wheels, again, nice great look to the vehicle, and we've lifted the suspension by 2 inches too. But particularly now I want to move on to talk about tuning and performance tuning of this particular vehicle. So once you're driving this Ford Ranger, 2 things immediately become apparent. First of all, this is quite a nice place to be. The seats are very comfortable, it's a nice feel to the steering wheel, it's a big spacious airy cabin, the dashboard and satellite navigation are all very nice, very much like you'd expect from any modern car. The other thing you notice though is it still drives very much like a commercial vehicle. The engine is quite noisy and it's got a big flat torque curve. So when you put your foot down you get quite a surge in revs and engine noise, but you don't necessarily go anywhere very quickly. It still feels quite a lot like a van in many ways. I've got a feeling that tuning this vehicle could make quite a difference to that. So Simon, we've had it on the rolling road, we've driven it on the road, and the vehicle goes really nice, but it does feel a bit flat to me. It feels like it's almost holding back, and it's quite obvious there's a lot more potential. So software-wise, what can we do?
Well, the great thing with this vehicle is we've got hundreds of maps we can access. I think in total there's about 40,000 something plus in the ECU.
Wow.
It's about 170 odd that we actually modify when we tune these vehicles. I'll put up on the screen a couple of the main ones that we modify.
Okay.
Ignition timing, often called starter injection, is one of the key ones on this vehicle. It's a bit like pedaling your bike, just pedaling a little bit sooner, a little bit harder, helps the vehicle accelerate up faster and stronger towards the top end. That's one of the areas towards the top end of the RPM. She dies down a little bit, so that improves that massively on this vehicle.
Right.
We combine that with changes to fueling and predominantly in here the rail pressure that we can see as well, which just helps again build that strength as we're asking for a little bit more in that higher RPM as she starts to rev up. She's got the strength and the fueling to sort of power those pedals that we're asking for with the timing increases.
So when we take it back on the road, what are we going to feel?
It's going to be sharp on the throttle, it's going to be stronger from low down through the mid-range, and what we're really going to see a difference on here is it's not going to sort of tail off at 3,000 RPM, it's going to keep pulling much further through right to the high RPM.
Because you absolutely do feel it. It just goes flat to me, it pulls and then just doesn't seem to want to go anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you're going to load the new software on now, and we'll take it back on the road.
Fantastic.
Great. Okay, so here we are now in the Ford Ranger with the new software uploaded. Let's see if we can feel the difference on the road. This feels absolutely fantastic. The power just keeps coming and coming. This is the automatic version, so it just surges through the gearbox with a feeling of much more confidence when you're driving it now. In fact, it feels like quite a fast car in many ways. So after tuning, this vehicle feels much more pleasant to drive. There's much more power on tap when you want it, and it feels a lot more responsive. So the obvious question is, if Ford know this, why haven't they done it? Well, when you look at the control maps in the ECU, you can see the torque has been held long and flat across the rev range. Perhaps ideal for fuel economy, but it doesn't feel great when you drive it all the time. A few small changes releases this extra power, and the vehicle is much nicer. Ford must well and truly know this, of course, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see a higher brake horsepower version of this exact same engine in other models used shortly. So I hope you found this episode on the Ford Ranger interesting. You can always find us at vizu.com. You can email us at info@vizu.com or call us on 01789 77 44 44. And don't forget, we offer tuning, remapping and performance upgrades for all vehicles. Hope to speak to you soon.